Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's webinar. My name is Josh Vogt, publisher of Personal Fitness Professional. In just a few minutes, our presenters today, Louis Agnew, My PT Hub's COO, and Natalie Kimball, My PT Hub ambassador and owner of Natalie Kimball Fitness in San Diego, California, will bring you today's webinar titled Structuring Your Online Coaching Business for Success. Discover must-have techniques to structure your fitness business. Before we begin, I'd like to cover a couple housekeeping items. This webinar is being recorded and will be shared with all of you once the replay link is available, normally within 24 hours. So you will see an email from us, from PFP tomorrow, hopefully around the same time frame, tomorrow on Friday. Also, we'd like to encourage any questions you might have about the presentation, and you can submit those during the webinar using the Q&A button in the navigation bar. And at the end of the presentation, we will open it up to Q&A for Louis and Natalie. Before I turn it over to Louis and Natalie, however, I'd like to have you guys participate in a poll that will help guide this webinar. Let me pull that poll up. Sorry, just one second. All right, there you go. Sorry about that. We'll give it about 10 more seconds here. Perfect, couple more coming in. All right, thank you, everyone. Go ahead and end that poll. Share the results so I know Louis and Natalie can see this. So about 50% one-on-one, so pretty much a equal split between one-on-one and online programs.
Yeah, nice. Awesome.
All right, well, I'll let Louis and Natalie take it away.
Thanks, Josh. Cheers. Yeah, thanks very much. Who are we? We'll get onto that in a second. We'll just introduce My PT Hub first of all, get the business out there. So yeah, so who are we? So let me just move that on. So My PT Hub is an all-in-one software for coaches, personal trainers, and clubs. So what the software actually does is that it enables personal trainers, coaches, or gym owners to manage their clients by creating bespoke, customizable training plans and nutrition programs. And you can track your clients' progress and achievements along the way. There's a lot more to it than just the training and the nutrition side of things. For example, the new habit tracking that we've got inside there, and you can also sell packages and programs and all sorts of things like that. So it's a web platform and it's a mobile app as well. And as you can see, we've got the Apple Watch offering there as well, so you can track your workouts on the go. So who am I? My name is Louis Agnew. I'm COO of My PT Hub. I've got a little bit of background in personal training, a couple of years under my belt. And from the outset, I've been involved with My PT Hub since the company's inception, and have helped build the digital feature set that's within My PT Hub. So I hope I've done a good enough job so that you guys get the best out of the program and the platform along the way. So yeah, and plenty of years in SaaS business operations as well. So I'm very much at the business side of personal training, whereas Natalie is more the trainer side.
I am in the trainer side. Hello, everybody. My name is Natalie Diane Kimball. I'm a master trainer and life alignment coach. So just a little bit of a backstory on me. I've done all types of coaching, from one-on-one to group to events. And since the pandemic, I have transitioned to online, which I'm sure many of you have too. So I am in that transition phase. So I think this presentation is going to be beautiful for all of you in the way that we have the business side of things, and then we have someone who's transitioning, which is myself. So I'm super excited to share everything with you guys. Yeah.
Nice. Awesome. So yeah, a little bit about what we're going to cover today. So the 5 topics that we're going to target are the 4 Ps of business. So this is something that we lean on quite heavily when we're educating trainers as to how they should be setting up their business from scratch, really, or even if you just need to take a little bit of a review of where you're at the moment. Certainly with the pandemic, I know that a number of businesses are pivoting to an online model, and it's important to just go back over your grounds, your roots, and understand what you're trying to achieve with your business. So we're going to go through the 4 Ps, and then we're going to cover a little bit about memberships, what they actually are, how you can implement them into your business, the benefits that they bring, and such like. Digital products, a lot of you probably have heard of this, but not too sure as to what they are. So we'll go through those. And one-to-one coaching, which it seems like 50% of you guys are currently doing. And certainly, let's dig into that as much as we can. You know, we want to focus this as much as we can on what you guys are doing right now and how we can help, or hopefully help. And then we'll put everything together at the end, just as a little piece together so you can see where we're at with everything. So just going to jump straight into the 4 Ps of business, and what the first one is passion. So I appreciate that obviously we all have passion as personal trainers. We're all passionate about what we do, and we want to deliver the best service that we possibly can do to our clients. But what this actually means is, who actually is your perfect customer? So for example, you could be passionate about personal training, but if you've got a handful of customers that aren't really fitting into your niche, then are they best suited to be working with you? And I would suggest on this instance that they're probably not best suited to you. So as a personal trainer, if you have people coming to you, it's not an obligation, but you should be feeling confident enough in your services to be able to push them to another trainer who you know can get them benefits, right? I don't know if, Natalie, you've experienced this in your history.
150 million%.
Yeah, right.
A lot of the times what we don't recognize, as far as like when you don't know your niche, you spread yourself so thin because you're trying to cater to so many different types of clientele. And I'm very, very open and vulnerable and honest with everyone that I speak to, in the way that if you're not a good fit for, like, if we're not a good fit for each other, then we're not a good fit. It doesn't mean that they, you know, so as far as like being able to reach out to someone else and you knowing those people is huge, is so huge.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. It's one thing to have passion, but it's another thing, you know, at the end of the day, we're trying to help people here, right? And if we're not the best suit for those guys, then, you know, it's best to move those guys on. But it's getting an understanding as to who you're actually passionate about helping. For example, if you have a niche that's I don't know, let's go with fat loss, for example, female fat loss groups, you know, but it's also the passion is one thing, but then we move into the people side of things. So actually the demographic of those people. So the age, the gender, the location that they possibly have, or, you know, that's becoming a little bit of a gray area now because you can do everything online, which is fantastic. But also, like, you know, their income. Can they possibly, you know, your target audience, are they the people that can afford to be training with you? What tiers of products within your suite of offering in your business can these people fall into? And we'll come on to that a little bit later in terms of when we go through memberships and the digital products and things like that. It's also important to, when you're identifying the kind of people that you're trying to help, is trying to understand the psychographics of these people as well as the demographics, right? So it's one thing knowing, you know, the age range or the gender or, you know, the sort of income level that you're trying to attract into your business, but it's also, you know, what do these people value? What are their likes? What are their dislikes? What are their interests? You know, it's the whole holistic view that you're trying to achieve with these people, rather than just, you know, an age, basically a number, which, you know, I'm not the biggest fan of doing that, but okay. So that's the people side of things, and then you get into the third P, which is problem. So we need to understand what the problem is that we're trying to achieve for these people. What are we trying to overcome for them? And this does come when you understand the psychographics of your second people. So understanding who they are and how you should communicate with them is a huge part of your business here. So, for example, you would speak very differently to a new mother, like a single mother, to that of a CEO, like a male CEO, quite a dominant sort of the classic, domineering person that we all picture in that. So, you have different demographics of people that you should work differently towards and certainly pitch towards. And I'm sure, Natalie, you've experienced this moving online as well.
Yeah, so as far as I really look at people as people. So as far as I wouldn't say that I separate them like a CEO versus a mom. You genuinely, just in our business, just as we would talk to people, just as far as understanding what it is that their needs are. So as far as on a case-by-case basis, what is your niche? And then what you're saying, what is the problem? Understanding who this person is and thinking about what they go through on a daily basis is huge. So if we're talking about problems, a CEO's problems of a multi-million-dollar company is going to be a lot different than a single stay-at-home mom, So that's why I think it's so important for you to niche down in who you're serving and who you're working with.
Yeah, absolutely. I couldn't agree. And it's these things like, when you come to that problem, it's the problem may be that if you've got somebody who's trying to run this huge company, they might be time poor, right?
Absolutely.
And therefore you've got to work around what their needs are, right? Which is very different scenario.
Absolutely.
So it takes us on to product. So what can you offer to help serve your customers, really? And again, we go back to what your perfect customer is, not just trying to serve everybody that comes your way. The demographic, the psychographic, and the problem that you're trying to solve. How can your product do that? And what sort of tiers within your business you should be looking to set up to achieve those results. So we'll come on to those in a moment in more detail, but this gives you an idea as to what a trainer's business model could look like. This isn't something that we try and push on everyone, because obviously not that this may not suit the way that you work, right? But the reason as to why we've got these three segments is, well, it was really interesting actually when Josh posted the results of the poll earlier, and everybody was, 50% of people were on the one-to-one side of things, and 49, I think it was, were in sort of like, I would say probably the digital products sort of slice, if you like. Not many people in the membership side of things, and we come on to free trials as well a little bit later. But this is typically how if you were to look at a personal training business, taking a step back and looking at how it's structured, you would go, okay, what's the time sensitive bits of my business, right? So if I'm a one-to-one coach, I've only got X amount of hours in a day, right? I can't be training everybody, I've only got like one pair of hands. I can only do so much. So that's the tiny bit at the top, because you can't do any more than what you've got. The middle bit is a service that you should be offering to customers that you can scale, but you also need it to remain personal, and you need it to remain, so it's not like you're just churning out we call it, I don't know whether it's in the States as well, but in the UK we call it cookie cut. Yeah,
cookie cutter.
Yeah, no, so the cookie cutter sort of programs, I mean, they serve a purpose, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying don't do it, but it's one of those things where the digital products, they work really nicely when you've got a campaign base, so it's 6 to 8 weeks of something like that, but it's structured around the person, right? And then you've got the membership side of things at the bottom, which is the really scalable one. So that's when I mean by memberships. You have the classic tiers of memberships, where you go into like a gym chain and you'd see like, bronze, silver, gold, platinum, all of these sorts of things. But and you get different content based upon which tier you go for. If you move that into an online business, it's largely the same, really. You pay for specific content that you get drip fed to you. But it's a lot more affordable than the digital products and the one-to-one coaching, which are like your premium products, right? Certainly the one-to-one. So the membership side of things is more of an affordable base. Typically, it doesn't have to be. It certainly, I mean, you could have a one-to-one service, which is a membership, right? So, Natalie, I don't know when you transitioned online, have you noticed this? Have you felt this pain point before?
Have I noticed what pain point?
Sort of trying to, because I know that you do one-to-one training, and trying to sort of fit other membership bases around that one-to-one training, or is your one-to-one training a membership option?
So I do all of my training is membership. So as far as anyone who's going to one-on-one train to me, it's a membership. It's 3-month commitment right now. So and they pay on a membership basis. They're my VIP clientele. And then those VIP clientele will then have access to my digital products, and that's all inclusive in digital products. And then my lowest tier as far as membership goes, which is just a ton of workouts that have been completely customized by me. They also have access to that, but I almost do like a drip to it, because the thing with membership sometimes with the one-to-one coaching, it's almost overwhelming because they want my time and attention there. So I think that there's so many ways to navigate it in the way that works best for your business, but all of these are so valuable, and knowing how to implement them for you specifically is huge. But I would say, as far as the way that I tried memberships in the beginning of the pandemic, people weren't excited about it because there were so many live workouts at the time, and the way that I was trying to navigate my own business. And I think that's a beautiful part about entrepreneurship. And the not so beautiful part is that you try things and sometimes they don't work. But now, now as far as my membership goes, it's a great supplement to my one-to-one clients.
Absolutely. No, awesome. Yeah. So, I mean, certainly, especially when you transition onto a brand new area, right? I mean, one-to-one coaching is traditionally face-to-face, and then you move on to online because you've been forced to, and you're just trying to navigate, right? As a business owner, you're just trying to serve your customers in the best way you possibly can do. And as you're absolutely right. It's trying to make the ends meet and make sure that you're serving your customers as best you possibly can, really.
Yeah. What I was going to say with the one-to-one clients, to where it's like a lot of us have had to move to a virtual space, and being able to communicate the value of that, it's still so valuable. And then some people may be hesitant to like opt into some sort of membership, but there's so many ways where you can provide like value from that membership and supplement things instead of overwhelming people who aren't used to even being in the digital space. Like there's something for everyone. And I've really found that since moving to the online space, there really is.
Yeah, nice. That's great to hear. That's brilliant, because it means as well that you can scale your business, right?
Absolutely.
So the membership side of things is traditionally where you will be doing that. You will be adding, well, as this slide says, that you're adding additional layers of security to your business. So it's one of those things where, and I'll bring up the next slide now, so you can understand what I mean here a little bit better. So obviously some big hitters here with My PT Hub in there, little plug. So you can see things like, Spotify and Netflix, these guys, they charge a small amount, relatively, for such a huge product. A lot of people lean on these products on a day-to-day basis, if not on a day-to-day basis, certainly on a weekly basis, and it becomes a no-brainer for the people that are watching these things or listening to these products. Take Netflix, for example. I think it's about £12 in the UK, so per month, and it's just like it's an absolute no-brainer. The value that you get for that service means that I'm not even going to question when it comes round to Netflix taking £12 out of my bank account. I'm like, do you know what? Actually, have it, please. You could probably take 15 if you ask me. It's one of those things. And so as long as you're offering value and you're giving value to your clients, these are really, really good examples of a membership base. So it's a lower price point, but it also gives benefit, and it also gives a lot of content to customers that potentially you may not have had to attract previously, because if your target audience is the one-to-one coaching, which it seems like half of you guys that are on here today, that's your target audience, is the one-to-one coaching, which is like the VIP, the top end, right? That being said, there's no reason as to why you can't offer a membership product that's a lower price point, because the amount of people that are in the world now that they definitely want online services. I mean, you can see the boom of fitness products and services through online, but they may not be able to afford the top end packages. So getting these people in onto a lower price point means that later on down the line, you could potentially, hey, look, I've got this opening, I'm just going to run it by you. Is this something that you would be interested in? You never know. Somebody may say that, yeah, actually, I'll put my hand up, I'll take that. You never know. So memberships, the main benefits we've covered is recurring revenue, right? So if it's £10 a month or $20 a month or whatever it may be, if you've got 10 people that are paying you a lower price point, but you've got that every single month coming in, that's $200, right, on month one. If you have another 10 people come in the following month and pay you $200, that's now $400 a month, every month, because it's recurring revenue, right? So you can see how it builds up. If you just get 10 new customers and look after them so that they're going to stay with you, you'll be building your revenue by $200 per month. I mean, that's a no-brainer, right? And it's serviceable because it gives you a solid foundation, and because it's digital. Because it's digital and you've got limited overheads, you can service these people. As Natalie said, I mean, you've got a membership where you give people a load of content, a load of workouts, right? And all you've got to do really is maintain those workouts and make sure that you're offering value to your customers, and that they're happy with that, right?
Yeah, so as for in the app itself, and the thing is, it's memberships was just difficult for me because I went from all in person, so pre-pandemic, all in person to all online, which I'm sure many of you are in the same world as me. So as far as it's just transitioning people to see who were in that world, to see that, and then making a presence online, then to show that, because my membership is super valuable. If you've ever bought a product from me, it's like my membership is a no-brainer. And then my membership on top of that gets to supplement my VIP people. I have so many workouts now. When they ask for something, I just can shoot it over in the app. It's very valuable because it's a low maintenance thing for you just to send people who can't afford your VIP or medium tier prices.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm just going to quickly run through this. Is a membership growth option, right? So how do you actually get people excited about your products? Because they may be, yes, the one-to-one is what we all want, right? We all want that person to be on our back all day, maybe not on our back all day long, but that keeps us accountable, right? They want somebody to make sure that we're doing our very best and getting our results. So, but that being said, I'm just going to quickly run through the door strategy, just so it's a really valuable strategy for when you're trying to get people in onto a digital product. So because it is digital, if your products are digital or your memberships are digital, they become, because they're not tangible, you can't hold them, they become a little bit less impactful because they're always open, right? Somebody can always buy it. So there's no impact. There's no sort of adrenaline rush to say, look, I'm going to shut my door, hence closed door. I'm not going to close my door at midnight, so you can just carry on and buy whenever you want, right? However, if you operate this system, which is an open door and a closed door, you say, for the next 2 weeks, I'm taking on board 100 clients onto my digital product, right? Which is going to be a summer shred plan, for example, right? That's all I'm doing. Okay, once I'm done, in 2 weeks' time, the door's shut. You can't join until next year. So that's what you've got to just wait until next year, I'm afraid. So it generates hype and it gets people excited to buy into it, right? What you can then do is a couple of days before it closes, you can then say, hey, look, I've got 24 hours, 48 hours before it closes at midnight on Friday. That's it. You're done. You can't join. I've got 5 spaces left, or whatever it may be, right? So the closed door and the open door strategy is a great incentive to get people in through the door.
I think of this like a VIP party. Like, you guys think about, like, I have 100 tickets to this party, and it's like, do you want to come? It's gonna be a fun part, because it is. It's like you create the hype, you create, the what it is. It's, yeah, I love that.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's one of those things as well. It's like FOMO, right? You don't want to miss out. Fear of missing out, right? So if Friday does come and you close it and there's people left over that are like, hey, that I really want to get involved. Okay, a couple of people, it's fine. It's a digital product. You can scale it. It's all right to let a few people on. If you've got 20 people that want to still get on, then you may have a decision to make where actually you say to them, sorry, look, it was till midnight. But who do you think is going to buy it first next time you open the doors? No brainer. Absolutely.
And people want to be a part of a community. So as far as like, if you're investing in a product, or if I'm like, again, I literally think of this like a VIP party. I have this many tickets. All the cool people are going. I want to be a part of that. And I mean, but if you put it in real life, you know what I mean? In real life, this is real life, but like events, the tickets are going to be sold out. You know, you get online, the tickets are going to be sold out. I'm the first one on. So it's being able to build that hype for what you're providing and making sure that it's super valuable.
Yeah, absolutely. And this is another way of doing that, right? Is a founder special. So a founder special is something where you can offer, you know, for example, we've got 100 tickets for the first 20 people that get involved, you get 50% off, or you get these additional perks that are along the line, right? And that just immediately gives you impact. So you may only have 100 tickets, but you know, in a couple of hours, you'll probably only have 75 tickets left. You know, if you just operate these sort of initiatives, founder special is a great way of doing it. You know, this is my founder special. The first 20 people that buy tickets, or you know, that get involved with my membership option or my digital product, I'm going to give you 50% off, and that's it. 20 people. And that's how you grow it. Free trials. Now, this was a really interesting one. So Josh showed earlier on the poll that 0 people were focusing on free trials. And that amazed me. Here we are. Look, it's a generating free trials. 0 people. Yeah, I know, right? So I get it, right? I get it. Like, look, we're all trying to make money, right? I get that. But having a free trial it's a win-win. It's an absolute win-win. All you're doing is you're getting people into your platform, into your software, and you're giving them value for 14 days, somewhere around that. It doesn't need to be a month trial unless you want to give that much. But it could be like a 14-day trial, right? Where people come in, you give them the value, they can, because they're not parting with any cash, right? So they're just coming in, they're seeing whether it works for them. If it does, great. If it doesn't, it doesn't matter, right? Okay, you haven't lost anything. However, if somebody comes in on a free trial, you give them 14 days access and they've got to your membership base, and they can feel that the content that you offer is genuine. It's, you know, you're trying to help them and you're offering them something for nothing. Then they're going to buy into you. They're going to understand that it's valuable. What you're giving is value. So, you know, I mean, on this is a good point to hand over to you, Natalie, and just understand, you know, what kind of marketing initiatives have you run previously in your business?
Yeah, so just to like, before I even go on that, just to like put an emphasis on what you said, people, if they're going to buy from you, have to like, know, and trust you. At the end of the day, yes, they're buying because of my education, but they're mostly buying because of me. And the same thing for all of the people that you work with. If they don't like you, they're not going to buy from you. And it's so hard to like someone when you don't even know them. So this is like showing up in the internet space and giving free content, just free knowledge, so they can get to know you and your heart and your passion and your vulnerability. Just huge. And I totally just spaced because I went on a tangent. What did you ask me?
No, that's fine. No, it's all good. It's all good. I was just wondering, you know, whether you had any, whether you've run any marketing initiatives yourself. You know, now obviously moving from one-to-one training to now more online. I don't know whether you've explored this area or not.
Yeah, absolutely. So as far as I've hosted a ton of free workouts. So as far as when the pandemic first hit, collaborating with certain companies and Instagram profiles where we're providing so much value on their account, and then I'm also gaining exposure, and it's something that I genuinely love to do. So collaboration as far as a marketing component is huge, and then providing free content. So I have a Facebook group that now I've grown over to 200 plus members. I charge nothing for this. This is all to create so much value for them to like and know me because I genuinely care. And then every once in a while, I'll post something in there that I'm selling something or a group or a product, but it's mostly free service. And on top of that, I've done master classes. So hyping people up for a conversation where I go live on video and then them being able to interact with me, that is the biggest one for me. Because the hardest thing I think with being on the online space, which we have such value here because we're having this conversation, you get to hear my heart and you get to hear my intention and you get to hear the value and I get to answer your questions. Oh my gosh, she cares. And there's so many ways that you can provide value for people, and free PDFs, free videos. I've offered free trials I still have a free trial for my PT Hub where it's a 2-week membership and you have access to 60 plus workouts that I made personally, video recorded. You know how many hours that I put into that?
Yeah.
I love them. So I think that we need to stop fearing giving away so much because we're always learning, growing, and expanding. And there's unlimited potential within all of us. And I'm always growing and I'm always learning something. And when I teach a live class, people are like, and then what? I've never heard of that cue. So you have more value to give, more than you even know. So having something that will really touch people is huge, always.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And I totally agree with you there when it comes to, offering things for free. It's kind of, which I guess comes back to the poll earlier, offering free trials is kind of a little bit of a strange concept to get your head around, but that's the way, not the way forward, but it's certainly a way of getting people in the door straight away. Yeah. And then you can push content to them. They can feel the value that you're giving them and they can actually experience that.
I like legitimately, if this helps you guys, like think about it like dating. Let's say you meet it, like if you're single and you're going in like the dating pool and then you meet someone and they're like, well, we have to be boyfriend and girlfriend right now or else I'm out. They're like, I don't even know you. I don't know you. People have to like, know, and trust you before they invest in you. And sometimes and another thing, I've had people follow me on Instagram for a year. Like, I've been following for a year. I'm ready. I'm like, for a year? Like, we're ready to date. I'm like, okay.
Yeah. Play the long game, right? Play the long game.
Hard to get.
I get you. Nice. Okay, cool. Right. Oh, I've just skipped back here. Sorry, my bad. So here we are. So digital products. Yeah. So let's move on to digital products. That's a little bit about how you could be marketing your memberships. What is a digital product? So what do we mean when we're saying about this? So digital product, it can be delivered without you being there, right? You don't have to be there in person to deliver a digital product. Seems a little bit obvious, but these are all examples of what a digital product actually is. So for example, it was that 12-week fat loss program that we were talking about earlier. A muscle gain program that lasts 10 weeks, shorter ones, maybe mobility and stretching campaigns, could be 4 weeks worth of watts. But what they all are is they're all campaign based. Now, so what I mean by campaign based is that there is a start and an end. It is a finite window where these things operate. So in that window, you have six, and what they typically are is they're actually typically specific around seasons of the year. So obviously you're going to have summer shred, you're going to have your Christmas, weight loss for around Christmas time. You might then have other campaigns that are sitting in your evergreen products. So now evergreen, what an evergreen offering actually is it's like your shop window, right? It's when somebody comes to your website, you should always have something ready for them to jump on board with. So free trial, 100% have a free trial, because then even if they don't want to part with cash, right, they can get involved with your company and your brand, right? They can experience something that you have to offer. So 100% free trial it should be there. You could also have a lower price point membership, which is like another entry for them. But what this slide shows you is that you can have a digital product, which is maybe a shorter one, as we were talking about, like the 4-week stretching programs, that sits in your evergreen services, so you can buy them whenever. So you typically, what you do is you tend to look at a date in, I don't know, let's go for March or April, looking for the summer, right? So you would run a 12 or 16-week fat loss program, which all of your clients that you want to get on board, you're all going to start on a specific date. And once you've started that, you're all going to end on a specific date. So what that does is it gives you a great opportunity, because you know that everybody's 4 weeks in. You go, how you doing, guys? Get the community going, get them all talking to one another, supporting each other. 10 weeks in, how's everyone going? Are you starting to see the results yet? Are you starting to feel a little bit better? How are you? Anybody, thrown out their winter clothes and got a new wardrobe in yet? These sorts of things. But you can build a community around that because everybody's at the same stage, right? And obviously before that 16 weeks, you would run your 2-week open and closed door method to get people in. But in this evergreen product, is that you should have something for sale when anybody can purchase and start whenever they want, i.e. that 4-week mobility. I just want to get mobile, right? I don't want to do it with another 50 people alongside me. I just want to do my own thing for 4 weeks, and that's what I want to do, right? So that's fine. And you can have that as part of your offering. And part of that is obviously it's a campaign-based thing. So you know that when they're getting towards the end, you can market towards them if you want to try and move them into maybe one of your lower price point memberships, so they don't just fall off. Once they've finished their 4 weeks, it's not like, right, cheers, see you later sort of thing. It's like, actually I've got some more content here that you can trial if you want to do that, those sorts of things. So that's more that side of things with the digital products, which is, we previously mentioned upon the growth campaigns and the growth strategies to get people on board, the open and closed door strategies, the founder specials that you can run in those ones, the free trials to get people into those evergreen products and services. But I think this is obviously the big one that we need to touch upon, isn't it? The one-to-one coaching side of things. So obviously, what is it? It's the highest service that you offer as a personal trainer, right? It is the creme de la creme, the VIP service that everybody wants, really. So I think it's actually quite nice at this point, Natalie, if you have a little look at these and just tell us how you structure your online coaching business.
Absolutely. So as far as one-to-one coaching, I design this completely as self-leadership. So as far as I don't structure my business to say, I'm going to hold you accountable. This is your journey. And I'm so excited to be with you and walk with you and coach you and guide you and answer all of your questions. So I think as far as we onboard new people, that's a huge thing, especially when you're trying to express value. And so when people don't hit their goals, or they do hit their goals, they know that it was them. That's number one. Depending on my client, the custom training plans, like I said before, my one-on-one sessions are like this. I sit in this chair and I coach them as such. And then should they desire to do more throughout the week, or they need more support throughout the week, we have the chat feature in my PT Hub, which I will tell you, as far as community goes and your programs in your one-to-one services, use the voice messaging feature. I guess not everybody has my PT Hub, but voice messenger, huh? Yeah, they will say. The voice messaging feature, for someone to hear your voice, you really care and you really get excited for them. You're the guide, you're the mentor, you're the cheerleader. And so that's huge. But as far as also supplementing them with workouts, I've found a lot of my VIP clients, they make more money, and they're not trying to follow a plan or just tell me exactly what to do. And this week, and I've been flying, so my back, and I have those things supplemented to be able to send to them in the chat feature. So depending on if you have structured plans, that's fine. I'm much more of a fluid-based trainer because the people that I train prefer to work that way. Client check-ins, they're people. I know my people. When you're in one-on-one, like, I know them. How are you doing? I know you had a rough week. You've been in the office, or you're just flying, whatever it may be. And then nutrition plans, I actually have made a whole nutrition trainer, and they know they have the space to log if they desire to. I put that on them. It depends on how you want to run your business. I used to go through everyone's nutrition sheets, and I desire more to be on the educational aspect, like, you know what to do. And if you have any questions, I'm always here. Any questions, I'm always here. And then those one-to-one sessions are always what we'd say the accountability. Did you show up for you in the way that you said that you wanted to?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So how to offer your one-to-one coaching nowadays? You know, obviously it was super simple and it was quite very obvious, you know, like 18 months ago, but this seems to be going on and on, right? So we've obviously moved to more of a digital lifestyle. Everybody has. You know, whether you're a business or you're a consumer, you are now more digitally aware. So I guess when it comes to moving things online, have you felt any pain points at all, Natalie, that you can sort of maybe, I don't know, whether it's steer people away from, you know, I made this mistake, you know, I definitely wouldn't do this, or I would do this?
Have I felt any pain points? All of them?
Yeah, right, yeah. Probably should have phrased that a little bit better.
So as far as like it's been a rough transition for all of us. Every single person that wasn't already in the online space, it's been a hard transition. So I would say, as far as when the pandemic first hit, which was beautiful in the way that I had just started to align with my PT Hub just prior, and I'm like, well, this is the kick in my rear end to get going. That's, you know, I think as a business owner, you have to be like, you have to move when you have to move, and it was something that I was holding off on just because of my own self-doubts and everything, and it turned out so beautifully. But I just think whenever you're building something, to be patient with yourself and to really know always what is your desired outcome. A lot of times we start working on things and we don't know, what is my desired outcome? What do I want at the very, very end? What aligns with my business? Because honestly, I was very blessed in the way that because I've built so many relationships, you know, in like from around the world. You guys are in the UK, you know, like I have companies in Virginia, San Diego, Washington, so all over. Just being able to be open to things that align with you and your mission and your time, because your time is the most valuable thing that you could ever have. And so as far as what we'll talk about pricing later, but be patient with yourself and ask yourself at the end of the day, what it is that you really want. I want people to feel supported in these ways. There's going to be a lot of flashy things, and my PT Hub is beautiful in the way that you can do pretty much anything, but it can also be paralyzing because you can do pretty much anything. So knowing what it is that your desired outcome is and who you want to serve and what you want to offer is huge. And I think in the beginning with the pandemic, especially for my own pain points, it was navigating the new software, uploading all the videos, doing things that I wasn't yet comfortable with, navigating Zoom. I was teaching a class with 600 people in it. And I'm like, I don't know how to work Zoom. Yeah. My internet would crash. I'm like, oh my goodness. So just being patient with yourself, knowing the end result, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. And it comes back to the 4 Ps that we went through, right? Is knowing your audience and knowing what you're trying to achieve. Right. But you know, let's move on to pricing, actually, shall we? So like, you know, I guess the first question is, you know, when you started out, how did you come across your pricing strategy? How did you come to know that the numbers that you're charging are the right numbers?
So for when I first started out, I was working for a company. So those were the dollars that they were charging. And then when I moved, I moved 3,000 miles away. I started my business out of my garage, and I charged what I thought I was worth at the time, which my services, which wasn't very much, which is very interesting. So I think a lot of people question what to charge because they don't know their value in their services. Even the fact that I had a degree, so many certifications, I'm like, I'm just not ready yet. So it really comes to self-worth and what you're really offering, because you really can charge anything that you want. And it's the same thing with, if you don't know your target audience, you can serve everyone. So knowing your worth and just being in the industry, you know, like me painting my garage walls, like looking for one client on Groupon, which is like a really discounted service. Like my price point was so low. Now I've presented idea multiple times, so many certifications, so many, like I've been the head of so many different things. I know my value because this is what I'm comfortable charging, and this is the number that I can consistently stand behind. So I think if you're questioning what to charge, what number can you really get behind when you think about the mental, emotional, and actual physical time that you're going to be putting into this service or this person or this product? What can you get behind so confidently? Because there's people, oh, I can't afford that. And I have to be like, totally get it.
Yeah.
That's okay.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you're not going to be able to serve everyone. And that's the thing as well, is I think when you're trying to put pricing together, is that you need to consider obviously the back end of things as well. So the amount of time you're putting into your programming, the amount of times that when you're shooting your videos for your footage, all of this is time, right? And you need to obviously encapsulate that into your pricing rather than just the time you spend directly with your customers.
Yeah, it completely depends. As far as like a one-on-one experience, this is what I feel like my hour is worth. So I'm going to price accordingly based on those hours. If I'm making a digital product, like you're saying, this is going to be so many hours, but then it's going to be available to everyone. That price point is going to reflect that. So I think just really, 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 really getting honest with yourself in where you're at in the industry, because me 6 years ago, me now, those are two completely different people. I can stand confidently because I've trained trainers and I can see how much value I have in that. I wouldn't be confident charging my price point 6 years ago. And that gets to be okay because we're growing and evolving always. So it's just the number that you can get behind and knowing the people that you're serving. Because if you're trying to get, 100,000 people and your price point is like the highest it's ever been, it's just not the right way to go about it. So knowing who you're serving and what your value is in that particular area is huge.
Nice. Yeah, that's a really valuable takeaway for sure. So going back to basically what we've been through this evening, well, midday for you guys, right? Or morning even.
I'm going to be working after this. So
yeah, I'm going to bed.
Afternoon.
Yeah. So when you going through your memberships and your digital products, these are the times that you should be marketing to your customer base for your evergreen services. So for example, you may have somebody who's on a digital product that you're doing, your summer shred, and they may be coming towards the end of it, and they may just want to jump straight into something else. Whereas another customer may just go, hey, look, I've just poured my heart and soul into this, and you've got me into great shape. All I want to do now is I just want to maintain how I'm feeling, right? So you still want to offer them your membership base or some content that will keep them going, right? So even if you've got one-to-one customers that have flown, going back to the pyramid that we had earlier, maybe they've moved down into your digital products. You can go either way with it. So once they finish this band, you can move either side of it. They might get to the end of it and say, hey, look, I really enjoyed that. And what I want to do is I want to move into, I know it's going to cost a little bit more money. I'm understanding of that. But what I want to do is I want to move into the one-to-one coaching because I actually feel the benefit I've got from this is made me feel the best I ever have done. So they can move either side of it. And it's making sure that you're marketing to your customers so that they know. But you may want to say marketing, you don't have to literally be going, hey, look, flashy sale, flashy sale, flashy. You can go to them, yeah, look. Yeah, you can. I get the wavy man. Oh man, you can, just market, give them a gentle nudge in the direction that you feel is best for them, and offer them everything so that they can make an educated decision.
I think as far as we use the term marketing. So as far as I wouldn't say marketing's always been hard for me because it's I don't like the term marketing. Same thing as networking. I'm getting to know people. So as far as like how we even perceive it, you know, so as far as your marketing, genuinely letting people know about what you have, that would be great for them. That's what marketing is. You said, hey, like you would do so well on this, and believing it and telling people about it instead of thinking that you have to be the woo, like you don't have to, you know, I think that sometimes we get that way, and that oftentimes when you're in this like state of lack where you need to have everyone sign on to something versus like, I know without a doubt this would be great for you. If you're not ready, that's okay, but this would be great for you. And that's how I sell. Yeah.
Nice. So yeah, just putting everything together here, guys, and then we'll jump onto a quick Q&A. So we've been through what free trials are all about, how they should be used, why they should be used, and time-based discounts as well to generate hype as to how you should be onboarding people into your digital products, and for a certain degree to your memberships as well, but definitely into your digital products. Making sure that everything is not always available. Yes, making sure that you have an evergreen shop front, you know, where people can choose if the smaller products if they want to go on them. But the way in which you do generate that hype or that excitement to get into a product is because it's not always available. And just taking a step back at times and saying, hey, look, I know that I could have potentially taken a few more dollars this month if I'd have let those 5 people on. But actually, you knowing that down the line, those 5 people are probably going to tell their friends and maybe family members, you know, actually, I can't wait for this to open up, and then they get excited about it, and it snowballs, right? So it's not just looking at it in the short term. And definitely another really good tactic, which we haven't touched upon actually yet, is to promote at the end of the month, right? Payday time. Everybody is a little bit more, you know, everybody gets to payday and they're like, oh, I feel a little bit flush now. So at times they may not be able to afford your services, but if you can pitch it right and make sure that there's something affordable, that's something that they can get behind, feel the value of, make sure that you're doing it around those sorts of times. And this just gives you a nice little timeline roadmap of how you should be marketing or promoting each. And it shows you a bit of a flow as well. So you can see that a 12-week digital product here flows from January into March, but 2 weeks before the end, you're going to start promoting to people that actually, hey, look, once you get to the end of this 12 weeks, it's not over. You know, that's not the end of it. I've got these different products available if you want to move on to, you know, a stretching mobility plan or something similar. Or you can move into my membership option. Or again, if you want to, my one-to-one service, I've got 3 spaces available and I'd love for you to join because of X, Y, and Z. You know, this is why I feel like it's right for you. But obviously those conversations are to be had with your customers. And I'll just finish up here before we do take the Q&A, is something that I get asked is, what is a good price point for a membership, or what is a good price point for a digital product? What is a good price point for your one-to-one training? And the answer is, there isn't a perfect price point. There isn't. Honestly, there really isn't. Memberships are typically used in the digital space, as we went through previously with Spotify, the likes of Netflix. It's a lower price point typically. But as Natalie said, you know, your top price point is a membership. So you can also get the top end as well, right? The digital products, now the price point of those is like a middle tier, right? So you're looking at $100 to $250, I would suggest, as a ballpark figure, because it's a 12-week product or a 16-week, whatever that time phrase is, it's like that campaign, but you can get more people onto it and you can service them because it's a digital product. Because it's digital, it doesn't take all of your time and it's manageable, it's serviceable, especially if you get the customers that are on that 12-week or that digital product into a community so that they're engaging with each other, so that it takes away from your time as well. Because everybody wants to support each other, right? And if you can make sure that you can get that nailed, then they're ballpark figures, right? I mean, memberships, $20, $30, somewhere around there a month, I don't know. That's typically what I would suggest. But as I say, there is no real price point for these things. It's just, you know, whatever sits well with you and your business and who you're trying to attract and the people that you're going after, the 4 Ps as we went through previously.
Absolutely.
So on that one, Josh, I think we're ready for any questions if we've got any.
Oh, absolutely. No, thank you guys. Thanks, Lewis. Thanks, Natalie. Let me get started here. Yes, we've had a few questions come through, some good ones. So out of all the tier options available, like one-to-one group programs and memberships, how would you guys recommend marketing these without feeling like you're constantly plugging products?
Sure. So I'll take that from a perspective of the digital scene. I think that the best way in which you can do this is to make sure that you're offering content that is free. I keep going back to this free trials, but I cannot stress enough. Free trials is a great way for you to engage with customers. Make sure that they're earning your, well, they know exactly what they're getting from you, right? They want to feel valued. They want to know that the content that they're getting from you, they can trust and they can believe in. So therefore, if you can get people in on your free trials, and there will be a point where, you know, as I say, using these techniques like the open and closed door technique, the founder's special, you will become a salesman at times, right? You're going to have to, you're a business at the end of the day, right? You're not just going to sit there, open up the doors and have everybody flooding in. It just doesn't work like that. You have to work at it. So I would suggest that the best way from a digital perspective is to get people in on those free trials, making sure that they can feel the benefit from you. And once they can feel that they're getting some value, then it makes that decision a lot easier for them to make a purchase thereafter.
Okay, perfect. Natalie, I think this one's probably more for you. What are the best ways you found to keep in contact with your clients remotely? I'm guessing it's more along the different platforms you use and what you find that works, you know, best for yourself.
Yeah, so as far as remotely is, like I said before, in the MyPT Hub, the chat feature, I use that voice memo part of the app all the time. Also, as far as community and anything that you do, especially if you're looking to grow and expand your business, you have to have a community, especially in challenges. If people are going through things, like think about it like a coach, and then there's like the whole soccer team. Like, of course, the coach is coaching you, but all the soccer team, they're the one who's the blood, sweat, and tears. So people being able to go back and forth, and people will start, and I've seen this in actual group classes, people will help each other. So it's very important as far as for me to be like, yes, I am here to be the guide and communicate with me, but look at all of these other people in my Facebook group and then the MyPT Hub chat feature.
Perfect. All right. Thanks, Natalie.
Welcome.
Next one. Any tips on social media in terms of how to schedule content and how to keep it interesting and engaging?
Do you want to go first, or do you want me to?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, I'll jump on that. Hannah will be all over this. Hannah's our marketing lady. She's absolutely amazing at this. Yeah, so right, how scheduling, in terms of the scheduling side of things, I would make sure that it's regular content, and you're making sure that you're actually serving a purpose to the people that you're trying to attract. You know, putting out content that's just for the sake of putting out content, it's not going to serve you. All it's going to do is it's going to absorb your time and your effort and your energy trying to get out some content, whatever that may be, right? We come back to the 4 P's of business, and one of them is people and the psychographics of those people. So what are these people like? What do they engage with? What is your perfect person that you want to attract? And therefore put out content that is relevant to those people, not just the latest trend or whatever it may be. It's got to be relatable for your audience. Now, in terms of scheduling of that, I would suggest that regular content doesn't have to be every single day. It doesn't have to be every single day. I would certainly suggest that obviously staying in people's timelines and making sure that you've got stories that people can relate to are all fantastic, because again, it's just building that relationship that you have with people. But I do feel like, you know, if you were to look at the scheduling side of things, look at the time as well. You know, I mean, now that we're online and there's a digital workspace for the fitness industry, it's no longer a time where you have to engage with those people that are like in your same town or in the same city as you. You know, your horizons now have been broadened massively. So trial different times that you're posting and see what engages with people, and see when you get the most uptake. Run polls, these sorts of things. Just make sure that you've got people engaging with your content. It's not just for the sake of having content, as I say. Sorry, I rambling on there a bit.
That's how I feel like with every single question. I'm like, oh, I just in a vortex. But I would say, as far as I don't schedule content. It depends if I have something coming up. So if I have something big coming up, I know that, and I consistently talk about it. So many things that I'm building, especially on my Instagram stories or Facebook posts or in my group, I talk about the process. So as far as like you being able to lead up to whatever it is, I'm building up something. I'm super excited about something. Oh, I just spent, and I think people really like to see the real genuine process. I see this in people who I'm following that have millions of followers, the people that I at least align to. So I think as far as, again, if you look at the end result, you have a challenge coming this date. Okay, then let's talk about all the benefits of that challenge. Talk about you working up to that challenge. There's so many ways just to create conversation around it. And if scheduling feels aligned to you, especially on Facebook, you can do that. Like, schedule out before your challenge. Okay, I want them to know this. I want them to know this. But like he's saying, Instagram's a hard one because the algorithm and stuff changes so much. So as far as even scheduling content, you may see that you're not getting as much visibility. Like, my posts were getting pretty much nothing. And then my stories, I was like, what is happening? You know, so I would just keep an eye on it. Like he's saying, post at different times and see what really works for you.
Okay, perfect. Next one, Natalie, I think I'm going to try and restructure this a little bit. It's more around the trainer themselves. So not scheduling content, but scheduling your typical week as a trainer. What do you do? Do you set certain days to check in on clients? Do you take a day off here and there? Do you keep that consistent? It sounds like he's got, quite a few followers and just having a hard time managing them now.
Followers or clients?
Clients.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So, I mean, it depends on your workload. It completely depends on your workload, but I have specific hours and boundaries and I stick to them. And sometimes you might lose people that, like I said before, as far as having a specific price point, you may lose certain people. I can't guarantee you that you'll keep everyone, but I have specific boundaries because every time that I don't adhere to those, I crumble because I'm running a whole business behind the scenes. I'm growing and expanding and changing. So I don't have a particular time that I check in with people. Again, it's my training. Again, this is something that I had to learn it was very hard for me, is having a conversation with my clients that they're doing this for them. I'm here to guide them, just like in school. Like, I'm teaching you, whether or not you come to class or whether or not you do the homework, that's going to be your pass or fail, but it's not me. So I think establishing leadership in that community, self-leadership in that community is freaking huge. And it just depends, because I have strict boundaries for my hours because I'm doing 20,000 other things as a business owner.
Perfect. Lewis, I think this one would be more directed at you. Looks like somebody kind of getting started. They ask, can you access the business trainer side of My PT Hub before you've actually set up your business?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So My PT Hub, as I said previously, basically what we do is we offer the trainer the tools to service their customers. Mm-hmm. So we're offering a 30-day free trial for all you guys. So please do. I'm sure Hannah's posted a link in the chat. So please do find that. But yeah, so there's a 30-day free trial. So do please head over to the webpage, and yeah, absolutely, you can trial the software. You can add yourself as a client or add somebody that you're close to, and just trial it out. Make sure we've got a ton of content on there that's workouts, nutrition plans, programs that you can download for free, and just assign those so that you can assign them to either yourself or to your friend or family member, and you can run through both sides of it, so you can see what it looks like from the trainer's side, and then obviously you can experience it from the client side as well, which is huge. I mean, obviously it's one thing a trainer knowing how to operate it, but it's another thing, obviously, the client being able to operate it and making sure that they know what's going on. So it's a really, really great time. Obviously, the 30-day free trial is a great opportunity for you to get your hands on it. And yeah, have a click around.
I would recommend absolutely doing it now because you can navigate everything. That's like the perfect time. This is the best time.
Yeah,
it really is.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. And by all means, guys, you know, the support team that we run here is super. They're fantastic. You know, we've got live chat available. If you need to jump on, you got any questions or anything like that, live chat, you can send us an email. We'll get back to you within 24 hours. You know, anything that you want. We run webinars every Thursday, ironically. So yeah, there's a ton of resources as well to help you get on there. There's actually a really nice masterclass that our head of support, Ryan, has done, which you can find in the marketplace. It's called My PT Hub 101, the blueprint. That is a really, really powerful tool, and it basically tell you how to structure and to the best ways to set up My PT Hub in those 30 days.
Perfect. I think let's do one more here. We got a few others, but and those that don't get answered, I'm trying to just take some quick screenshots and we'll share those with the team and they can hopefully get back to you as well. But I know we're kind of running out of time here. So this is, let's see here, sorry. What is the best way to keep clients that aren't consistent with logging workouts, nutrition, measurements, etc., accountable and build that consistency? So I think, Natalie, that's probably more for you. So I'm guessing they're normally doing one-on-one and now they're going to the, you know, remote digital, and they're trying to, how do you keep these people consistent when you're not seeing them all the time?
Absolutely. So again, that's a thing as far as a conversation to be had in the beginning stages, as far as that self-leadership. And then also seeing too much, having open conversation, like being very open with them and asking if it's too much. And if you and them need to reestablish goals or reestablish checkpoints, because not everybody's going to be the same. So maybe it's too many checkpoints, or maybe I'm overwhelmed at work. I have a trillion things to go. I just don't have time to log every single meal. You know, if someone's not showing up once a month for the check-in for their measurements and their photos, it's a conversation that I would have with them and be very open and very vulnerable with saying, like, I want this so bad for you. So I want to know where we're at so that we can align to move forward in the way that you desire for your results. Because if I don't know where you're at, I can't guide you. You know, like, open communication is key. But this is the self-leadership. It's really an empowerment tool, but it's something that I never had done before, like the last couple of years, and it's completely changed my business. And then they just know if I'm not checking in, then it's on me. But it might be that they're just overwhelmed. So I would have an open and honest conversation with, is this too much? Are you not in it?
Yeah.
What are we doing?
Definitely set the foundation at the beginning. Yeah, exactly.
Which is hard when you haven't, because I know where a lot of people, so when a lot of people aren't checking in or doing their measurements, a lot of times it's because they're not doing the program, and then they will hide from you. They retreat because they're like, don't, I've seen this. So please don't look at me. Please, like, don't be mean. I haven't done anything. Like, yeah. So just having people like know, like, hey, whatever it is, I'm here, but let's figure out a way to move forward is huge, because a lot of people are used to being like reprimanded when they don't do something. So.
Okay, great. Actually, I want to ask this one last one because I have a feeling others are thinking it, and it's probably great for the live on demand to hear this as well. Is there a time limit for signing up for the 30-day free trial? This person, for example, has a studio that's on the cusp of opening, which I'm sure there's quite a few of us out there yet. And my hands are so full with managing that. I just can't focus on that right now. And could I try this at a later date once everything's settled down?
Yeah, no, absolutely. Of course. Yeah, no, absolutely. There's no time limit on this. Absolutely welcome to come and try the software whenever you've got the chance to. And it's one of those things where I actually commend that person is, if you don't have the time to do it now, give yourself a break, give yourself a bit of a time out. And when you do have the time to actually invest in and actually to learn the ropes and understand how everything works, then you're going to be more switched on to do that, right? You can't do everything. So yeah, absolutely, of course.
All right, great. Thanks, Lewis. Thanks, Natalie. What a great educational and informational presentation. You guys made it so authentic. I think everybody really enjoyed it. And like I said, there's a few other questions, but I'll do my best to get those over to Hannah and your team to maybe address individually. And thank you everyone for joining the webinar today and all your questions. We hope you learned a lot of valuable information that can help you build your online fitness business. This webinar was recorded and the on-demand link will be available to all registrants within the next 24 hours. So check that email. We should get that out again tomorrow around the same time. Thank you all again. Stay safe and healthy and have a great rest of the day or evening, depending on where you're located.
Awesome. Thanks, guys.
Bye, guys.
Thanks very much.
Natalie.
Bye.